Okay, so it's going to live stream to YouTube. There we go. It's live on YouTube, and then we'll record it for. Okay, so it's going to live stream to YouTube. Where's my? There we go. It's live on YouTube, and then we'll record it. Where's the? Okay. All right. So it's live on YouTube and 428. Is everybody here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Naviglia is on.
Yeah, I'm on.
Okay.
I'm here, but I don't have. I don't know how to make this camera work. There's Michael.
We'll have to remember what you look like.
And I have no agenda, so one of you guys are going to have to take that.
Okay.
Let me forward it over to you, Tim.
I have no computer or nothing here that I can get it from.
Oh, okay.
I have my wife's telephone.
All right. Well, it's. Okay, well, it's 4:30. Hold on. Record on this computer. Okay, it's 4:30. So want to call the meeting to order, and then we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
That's you, Tim.
All right, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Everybody rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States
of America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
Under God,
indivisible,
liberty, justice
for all. And being I have no agenda, I need to have Michael please take over for me.
Okay. First would be citizens' comments. Do we have anybody?
Doesn't look like there's any. Doesn't look like there's any citizens on, Michael.
Okay. Well, then the next item, if there are no citizens, would be the chief's report.
Rick, you want me to do that?
Yeah, I don't have it. I can't find it right now. I'm having trouble bringing it up, so.
All right, I'll do it. For the month of March, we had 4 adult arrests, no juvenile arrests. We ran on 108 calls. We had 28 aided cases. And we don't record the accident reports on here. And we wrote 26 citations. We had 2 major accidents we investigated, with one with the help of the county police department. Anybody have any questions on it?
Nope.
Nope.
Mike, do you have anything else for us?
I got a bunch of stuff, but I don't know if we should do it now. Wait to the end.
Anything specific to the report that you read?
No, nothing.
All right, then I guess we can kick it to the end. General office.
No report.
Okay. Budget and finance. Beth had emailed out the bill list for April to everyone, but it's my understanding not everyone received it, so I can quickly go ahead and summarize it for everyone. The advanced auto parts amount of $43.34. All Traffic Solutions, Inc., $4,665. Boat Checks Collision, $439.17. Craig Cummings, $20. Creighton Printing, $72.97. David Rigoli, $994. Michael Naviglia, $225. S&D Calibration, $112. And Wex Bank, $971.01 for a total of $7,542.69.
Anything we should be aware of?
Yeah,
Michael-
Mike, would you explain
Michael,
to us
there's
All
one at the
Traffic
end you're missing.
Solutions?
Michael,
Oh, is
there's
that
one
Mike?
more at the end.
What's that?
Rigoli's.
No, it's
I
on
had
there.
him on here.
It was in there.
Okay.
And that's from, I think, December, right, Beth? December through now. Through to yesterday. That was 4 months, I think.
Mike, what is the All Traffic Solutions, the 4,665?
I'm muted. Are you there?
Yes.
The traffic solution is that speed sign we have. We've been deploying in multiple places within the township and Cheswick Borough.
Okay.
That's what that is. That was the speed sign that I showed you.
And refresh my memory, did that come out of the grant money or is that separate?
That should be coming out of the grant money, correct?
Okay.
That was one of the things we put on for the grant.
Okay. So when I make a motion to approve the bill list, I'm going to specify that the funds for the All Traffic Solutions shall come out of the separate account with the grant money. And then there's a couple reimbursements in there, one to you and one to Craig, just to make sure everyone's aware of what those are for.
The one for me would come out of my uniform money. So that would come out of uniforms.
Okay. Does anybody else have any other questions?
No,
Okay, so I want to make a motion to approve bill list, or approve the, we have a number on this? No. Make a motion to approve the April 2020 bill list with the All Traffic Solutions Inc. amount of $4,665 to be paid out of the grant money account.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
no,
All those in favor say aye.
aye,
All right.
Motion passes. That's all I have right now for the budget and finance. Operations Committee, Rick, do you have anything?
No, I don't have anything right now.
Okay. So then under new business, there's a number of items. Couple things that I had thought of if for us to possibly want to consider. The first would be is that I just wanted to, I was thinking it might be useful for us to have something clear that should Mike during the course of this pandemic become incapable for whatever reason of performing his duties, that we have someone listed as who would act as officer in charge to avoid us having to have a separate meeting to quickly appoint that individual.
I mean, obviously, I would guess it could be a full-time person, right?
Yeah, I would assume, I mean, it'd be my assumption that we would appoint Craig to that position if we were going to, if it was necessary for it to take this action now.
Well, I think in lieu of us not having a sergeant right now, or any other one than the chief, I'll make that motion for Craig to become acting chief
I second the motion.
and clean it up.
So the motion would be to have Craig Cummings listed as the individual who become officer in charge should Mike become incapable of performing his duties during the course of the pandemic.
Yeah, that's it.
Does anybody have thoughts on the matter?
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure,
Sure.
Mike.
Why don't we just, I mean, I understand what everybody's thoughts are, but why don't we just promote him to either a corporal or sergeant? We don't have to have these discussions.
You have civil service, right?
Yeah,
So you'd have to test for sergeant, right?
we don't have that in the civil service guidelines right now. It's just a promotable.
You'd have to let me research the codes, because I want to make sure that, you know, how they changed the third class city code in 14. I'd have that you can't do the promotion unless you test.
Correct.
I'd have to look at that and make sure. And I can get back to you guys by email before the next meeting.
We can still do the motion though, correct?
You could, yeah, the motion's on the floor to do it as acting chief if necessary.
And can I just add to the motion with you researching anything else, or should we keep that separate?
Probably just keep that separate. I'll do it.
And do we need to test for corporal?
I thought Mike says it's not in your guidelines. I have to look though to make sure that your guidelines don't conflict with the codes.
Okay.
Mike is, you probably know as much as I do on the subject, don't you?
Yeah, from what I remember, I mean, we've never had another ranked position besides the chief. But what I was always informed and what I've looked into is because we were already civil service, it was just a promotable position. Because it doesn't go into our contract as a money spot. It was by title alone.
All right.
Well, I'll be on the same
Given the
side.
nature of the way that we're holding this meeting, I'd prefer that we at least have a chance just to be 100% sure that's how it is. I'm not necessarily opposed to the recommendation, but I would just want to be sure we don't run afoul of something, especially since, you know, under the circumstances, this is not how we normally conduct meetings.
So go with the motion on the floor then.
Is there any other discussion on the motion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right,
Motion passes.
Who seconded that? I didn't get it.
I think I did, Beth. Bob.
Yeah, I believe Bob did. The next item, down in Chesapeake Borough, we adopted a policy for our employees regarding COVID-19, more or less regarding should they come in, not feel well, or have they potentially been exposed, how we'd go about handling that. So that was included in what Beth had sent out, although my understanding is not everyone had received it. More or less the idea is just making sure we have something in place should this become an issue that we have to deal with.
You've had negotiations or talks with other boroughs? You've talked with other boroughs?
Well, this would be specifically regarding our employees. So
Oh,
the idea,
okay.
a couple listed ideas is that if an employee comes in with a fever over a certain amount or showing other symptoms of COVID-19, that they would be sent home, or, you know, should one of our employees have it, we'd be notifying other employees who may have potentially been exposed to it, those types of things.
Throw that one to you, David. I'm not sure how. would
Sorry,
you
say
handle it?
that again, Rick?
How would you handle it? I mean, I'm not sure. You deal with other departments. How are they handling it?
Well, no other police departments have done one, but other places are doing similar policies regarding the coronavirus. So, I mean, this is in line with what they've done in some of in the county and other municipalities. I think this is a standard agreement, Mike, that you got somewhere, right?
Yeah, it was provided to us by, it was provided to Chester by our solicitor.
Yeah, and it looks very, it looks like it's the standard one that has made its way around, so. I mean, I think it's just a good policy to have in place, so we know what to do if somebody would come down with something.
And that decision is the chief's.
Well, if they come in and they're, you know, I think it's their supervisor that would send them home. The
The
chief's
only,
not always there, right?
correct, I'm not always there, so that would be, it would be either me or Craig, but they would start their shifts sometimes before we would see them.
Right. But
So when we got there, we would send them home if they're not feeling well. That basically was a verbal that I already told them.
right.
We're aware they're passing a new, trying to get the bill passed this week where the officers get paid. And that was a question I had for you, Dave, was if they're part-time, do they only get paid what they're scheduled? Or how does that work?
That's probably what they would get paid, only what they're scheduled. You're not gonna give them more hours. You know, your problem's gonna be, what if, you know, what if somebody's working in another department as a part-timer and they're, you know, they get it there because they're exposed to somebody. And then obviously they can't work, so they're gonna get paid by that borough for their hours that they probably normally work in a week, and they're gonna get paid by your borough or your department.
Yeah, which that's what I really don't like.
Well, I think that you would have to pay them what you would normally pay them.
Okay. Well, here was the other thing. So when they're part-time, can I force them into mandated? That was the other question I had for you.
For mandated.
If we run short on say if me or Craig go out and I run short and they do work in other departments, could I mandate them to stay here instead of going to that other department, or
What's your, I have to look at the contract, Mike, and tell you.
doesn't really say only the full timers?
Yeah, I mean, they can't work more than, what is it, 30, how many hours is it? 30? You're part-timers.
Like 32 4 days a week.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be an issue.
Okay.
I mean, I don't see how you can force them to work more hours than they normally work. I mean, up to the max of the 32.
Well, my question came in, if they just say, for instance, and I don't have one like right now like that. So Brad Ayers works here. Me and Craig are out. I need him to work, and he's scheduled in Springdale Borough, and he just leaves.
Yeah, it's uncharted. I mean, it's.
Well, that's kind of the part of the reason why I have that other proposal regarding the covering of shifts between us and potentially other municipalities.
So
So at
this,
least we would have some type of coverage. It wouldn't be someone actually wearing one of our patches working, but it would still be something here in our municipalities.
so let's take them one at a time then. That's where I got confused. And need a motion,
To adopt the employee handout
and that is,
of their guidelines.
right, I mean, does the motion have to say that the supervisors makes a decision? Or does it say it in there? I can't remember without looking at it. It's hard to read on my phone.
Right. It's basically up to the person. It says, if you experience any of the following symptoms, please stay home. If you exhibit upon arrival to work or develop symptoms of work, you'll be required to go home. So, you know, I think that they'd have to report to their supervisor if they're at work. You just can't leave and say, oh, I didn't feel good.
Right, well, that's what I agree. So the absolute final decision goes to the supervisor, which would either be Mike or Craig.
Yeah, and yes. they have to let them know if they're at work. And obviously, there's a call-off procedure if they're not at work.
Well, I'll make the motion to adopt that policy.
Second?
We have a motion and second to adopt the coronavirus employee handout. Any additional discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Can I, now that you passed it, can I put these in everybody's bin so they have them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
And then kind of going off a little bit of what Mike had mentioned, about 2 or so weeks ago, I don't know, a little while ago, Mike and I met with some of the mayor and the chief of police of Springdale Borough, just to make sure that our department and their department were on the same page, so that should something happen where one of our municipality or one of our departments faces an issue with manpower, that we have a plan laid out in terms of how we would go about covering those shifts. So for instance, if something happened to our department where half of our officers became incapable of working, whether they became ill or became quarantined or whatnot, that we had, it was already set up how we would go about, depending upon perhaps Springdale Borough, to either have someone come through town on patrols or perhaps even have somebody stationed in our jurisdiction for a shift or multiple shifts.
Sorry, Mike.
Figured out ahead of time as opposed to after the fact.
Would this be applicable to the virus, or is this just a standing thought?
It is specified that it would be just
Okay.
for duration of the pandemic.
Okay.
It's voluntary, so no, it would not obligate either department that they would have to go along with it, but it more or less says, if we contact Springdale Borough and say we need somebody to work this 8-hour shift, and they would be perhaps putting somebody on or covering that shift for us, how compensation will go about being made from our department to theirs, or vice versa.
I imagine that you would have to pay them their hourly wage.
And that's more or less what it says, Tim. So the idea being is that they have to put somebody on to cover our shift, that we would pay them the rate of the individual that they had put on, plus I believe there is, it's the rate plus payroll tax and all the other expenses that would go into having to have someone work that 8-hour shift.
Yes, I would believe that's what you'd have to do.
Yeah.
Are they passing a similar thing on council?
I'm hoping that they will, yes. I haven't heard definitively from them whether or not they will. But I would imagine so. They were very receptive to the idea.
When's their meeting, Mike?
I believe theirs is next Tuesday.
And do we have to put that on our meeting? That is Thursday night.
Well, I think that would just have to be the department. It wouldn't have to be the separate township and Cheswick Borough meeting.
That would be us, not Springdale Township.
No. This is just for you guys as the department and the Borough of Springdale.
Okay.
Should we have something in the motion to that effect, say contingent upon other municipalities passing agreements, signing, whatever?
Well, if Borough of Springdale doesn't agree to it, then there is no agreement, because it takes 2 people to have the agreement. So both parties have to agree to sign the contract. If only one party signs it and the other ones turn it down, then there is no contract.
Okay, so they're gonna have to put it on their agenda then.
Right.
Okay, yeah. And I mean, I was aware you were doing this. I think we should have it in place. Nobody's got a crystal ball, so I mean, I'd be happy to make that motion unless someone else has some more questions.
All right, Rick, so did you make the motion?
Yeah, I'll make the motion. I don't think anyone has any questions.
I will second.
All right, so we have a motion by Rick and a second by Tim to adopt the COVID-19 Emergency Police Department Cooperation Agreement between us and Springdale Borough. Any discussion?
Michael, did
Yeah.
we mention that I did reach out to the other two departments and only one got back to me, the other one did not get back to me?
Yeah, after, just for everyone's clarification, after Mike and I had met with Springdale Borough, I had Mike reach out to, what was it, Fraser and Eastier,
Correct.
and neither one necessarily immediately got back, but the agreement is written with the idea that others may potentially join on. So hopefully if things become worse in our area, that they may be willing to reconsider.
Well, as long as we have one, I mean, that's got to start somewhere.
Right. Any other discussion?
It's good
All
with
those in
me.
favor say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes. And then the last on the agenda,
Hold on, Michael, with that, do I need to drop a copy of this off with Springdale Borough? Or you-
I will let them know. I'll get it over to them.
Okay,
Or I'll make sure they already have it. The last two items under new business are kind of more positive. One, just make sure everyone is aware, we had received a donation from the Brian Shaw Foundation in the amount of $15,000 to go towards replacing our canine. And I thought it'd be appropriate that we send them a letter acknowledging them and thanking them for their support and communicating our appreciation.
I'm sure Jackie can pass that along, right, Jackie?
No, that's absolutely right.
So if no one has any objections, I could put something together that we could all kind of send on behalf of the police department.
Most definitely.
Sounds good.
Okay. And then the other, you might have heard that there was a little girl from Springdale Township who had ran a lemonade stand and raised some money that she donated to also to go towards our canine program. So I thought it'd be important that we recognize her as well and state our appreciation to her.
Very good idea.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Idea.
So then I'll put something together. I'll send out to everybody, and I think we all could just sign it if we're all happy with it.
All right.
Does anybody else have any other business they want to bring up?
And there's nobody else on the screen, so there's no citizen comments.
Okay. Nobody has anything else? We can make a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Who was that?
Rick?
Motion second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Everybody be safe.
Good seeing you,
Everybody.
Tim. Oh, wait.
Take care.
All right.
You
Bye.
too.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.